Hi guys, welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Daria and today I am back with I think this is the 4th Euro summer travel guide. As I'm doing this, I'm realizing how soon Euro summer actually is. I'm leaving for my trip in like a month and I have so many last minute kind of details to still plan out. Obviously you guys are going to see the vlogs for those ones and I'll make travel guides when I come back, but yeah, it's really soon, so I'm going to try my best to have this edited as soon as possible for you guys. But what is kind of left of my main places are Lisbon and Malta. They're not really correlated or next to each other on the map, but Lisbon was a city that I loved, and Malta also a country that I think is absolutely beautiful, and maybe not that it's not popular, but it's definitely not like Mallorca or Ibiza kind of popular in terms of Euro summers. So if you haven't considered or you are considering going there, I highly recommend both of these places. So yeah, we're gonna start with Lisbon. I actually went to Lisbon on the same trip that I was in Mallorca and Ibiza for. I think I left Mallorca and I went to Lisbon, and it was the last stop, and I went in 2023. So if any of these details are kind of not the exact same, that's probably why. Like restaurants and stuff, I'm not sure if they're still kind of popular, but I'll tell you guys everything that I have for them. And if you want to see more details, they are on, I have highlights on my Instagram with every one of these locations. That's pretty much where I got all of my list from, so I barely remembered the names, but yeah, all of that is on there. But let me stop yapping and get into it. Obviously I'll have the names of everything written out on screen in case you're like, girl, what are you saying? Because I know my pronunciations are about to be butchered. But yeah, so Lisbon, we went and we didn't really have that much of a plan. Again, it was like the end of my like 5.5 week trip, so I wasn't really down to plan too much. We kind of went with the vibes of this place, so I don't really have like too many places. But the first thing we did, and I recommended this in one of the other videos, I don't remember which one, to get a hop on hop off bus. We just sat down, did the whole line. I'm pretty sure they might even have 2 lines, I don't remember exactly, but then you can really see all of the like touristic spots. And maybe if you had something on your list that you thought you really wanted to see, but you've seen it from the bus or you've seen it from far, you don't really feel like going to it anymore. Or if you didn't have something on your list and now you've seen that it's beautiful and something that you're interested in, then I honestly recommend hop on hop off buses for at least a day. You can literally get it for 2-3 days, and just I think it's a great way to get around, especially if it's a big city. I'd say Lisbon was pretty big. It's still walkable for sure, but it's definitely a little big to get around all the sides. But yeah, hop on hop off, and then we kind of saw a lot of the big touristic places, and we decided that was enough for us. For example, I think it was a monastery called Mosteiros dos Jerónimos. That one was beautiful, but we didn't feel a need to go inside because we were kind of but yeah, that one was there. And then there's the elevator, the Santa Justa elevator, that's also quite popular. And then there's, when you're kind of walking around the same area, the arc, there's a really beautiful arc and a really beautiful center, and it's called the Arco da Rue Augusta, and it's just really like the details on it are so beautiful. And I think it's obviously not like it's an arc you know, it's like not something that you kind of go see inside or whatever, but just walking around that whole area, these things are kind of next to each other, I think was so beautiful. And one place that I really loved, Lisbon does have a few viewpoints where you can see the whole city. We didn't have time to go to too many of them because they were on top of hills. Also, literally as I'm saying this, I'm remembering how many hills Lisbon had, and it would be like slight inclination or slight whatever on Google Maps, and we would be absolutely panting by the time we reached the top of the hills. So it's definitely a city where there's a lot of incline, a lot of stairs, so definitely be prepared when you go there. But yeah, if you want to see a really beautiful viewpoint that we absolutely loved, and we went during sunset, so it was even more beautiful, it's called the Miradouro de Santa Luzia. So nice. I feel like it's probably also a popular spot. I've seen it in a lot of photos, but yeah, that viewpoint was beautiful. And then around the same, obviously Lisbon has the trams, and I'm pretty sure the tram 28 goes around the same area as the viewpoint. So yeah, the trams are also really cute to see, and we didn't even get to ride in one of them. I don't know, we were a little disoriented on that part of the trip, but yeah, the trams are really, I think the tram 28 is the most popular one if I'm not mistaken. And then there's the Belém Tower, and honestly we mostly just walked around and everything was just so beautiful. So we probably saw things that we didn't even know were like historic or anything of the sort, but yeah, Lisbon was so beautiful, and there were so many terraces and the vibes were great. So those would be, I guess, the main like touristic spots that we saw. I think we were there for 3.5 days, something like that. We did also take a day trip to Sintra. We Ubered there. It honestly was not expensive. I believe it was an hour away, maybe a bit, yeah, I'd say around that time. And there's the main spot in Sintra called the Penna Palace. For some reason we didn't even make it to the palace because we were just kind of exploring the city, but we did go to the gardens, the Quinta da Regaleira gardens, and there's also a palace there, and there's popular kind of Instagrammable spots that are there. And then there's the Quinta da Regaleira so bad pronouncing this, but like I said, I'm writing them on screen. Yeah, just exploring those grounds took us a while, and we did want to go back at a reasonable time, so we didn't even make it to the Penna Palace. But I do recommend taking a day trip to Sintra. And I don't know, like the restaurants were really cute, and it was more of a small town kind of vibe, touristic again, but I would highly recommend going there. And then, like I said in every single video, your girl is maybe not the best food reference, but we did go to restaurants and bars and stuff that I would recommend. So for going out, Lisbon was actually a really good place, like nightlife wise. There was a street and we went to a bar, and it was so cheap because after going to Mallorca and Ibiza, everything was probably cheap to begin with, but everything seemed so much cheaper, like drinks wise and everything wise, food wise, in Lisbon. So I definitely do think it's a very budget friendly place. But there was a street filled with just bars and like little clubs, and we ended up going into one of the bars called Portas Largas, and the drinks were like €5, which we did not encounter that in Ibiza or Mallorca. And yeah, that whole street I recommend if you kind of want to experience a bit of the nightlife. And then we went to this club, I don't remember what it was called, I tried to look it up but I couldn't find it, and they had like Brazilian funk music, and it was outdoors, and it was just so much fun. So the nightlife in Lisbon is definitely very good if that's something you're interested in. I think we ate there's like only 3 places that kind of wrote down that we ate at that were good, I guess. My friend, like I said last time, my friend's vegan and I'm gluten-free because I have celiac, so I can't really branch out too much in terms of eating. But we went to the Food Temple, we went to Organiciado, and we went to Eat, Pray, Love. Those are 3 restaurants that we got. I think the last one we got dinner at, and then the other 2 we kind of got lunch slash brunch, and it was very cute, very aesthetic. And one of them was on some stairs in the middle of 2 buildings. And yeah, it was just very cute places, and the food was very good. So those ones, like I said, it was 2 years ago, so I'm not sure if they're actually popping like they used to be, but in terms of food, that's kind of where I went. But yeah, Lisbon, like I said, is beautiful. They also have beaches, and they're not that close, but, or at least from where we were staying. But we also stayed in this hotel. I'll put the name of the hotel because I forgot to write it down, and it was like in an old train station, but the train is still running. It's just that the actual hotel was built on what used to be an old train station. So when we would literally exit our hotel, we would exit it into the train station of the current trains, and it was just really cool. It kind of gave like haunted house vibes in the hallway, but everything else was really cool. So yeah, I would say that's kind of my recs for Lisbon. Like I said, we kind of went more based on vibes and we still had a really great time. So I highly recommend going to Lisbon. And then for Malta, I went last year and I spent, I want to say, a week in Malta, if not like 5-6 days. And yeah, we stayed in, it's spelled out Sliema, but I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly it's called Slima. It was just our central kind of point, and then we kind of went to every other city. They had a great bus system, and the beach was right next to us, and we stayed at this cutesy hotel. So yeah, we did stay there. I'd say the central city is probably Valletta, but we stayed in Slima and it was honestly great, and it was not too far from the airport either, so that worked out in our favor. And the beaches there were absolutely beautiful, kind of the same vibe as Mallorca beaches, except these ones were more sandy. So if you don't like the rocks in Mallorca, I'd say Malta has beautiful beaches. We went to the Golden Bay Beach, and yeah, that one was definitely sandy. It was a little crowded for sure, but it was very nice, and they had a whole cliff on the side that I literally climbed off of because I was getting bored at the beach, but really beautiful views. And then we went to Melilla Bay, and then right next to us is Gadira Bay. Beautiful beaches. Again, the color really nice, the cut of the water really nice. And yeah, it was just more families for sure, but just nothing to complain. They were really nice, and we just rented out beach chairs and had a great time. And then we went to a city right next to these bays called Mdina, and for whatever reason we didn't catch really why they had kind of, it wasn't a festival, I don't know, but they brought out a bunch of vintage cars on the streets, and they like closed down the streets, and everyone kind of walking around. It was like 8-9 p.m. at that point. That was kind of a problem for us because the bus didn't pass through the city to get back to Slima, but we ended up finding the bus after a bit. And yeah, it was just really cute to see everyone with their little vintage cars and enjoying the vibe. People were singing. It was cute. But yeah, and then I would say in Malta, the partying place is St. Julian's. There's this street that is literally just clubs, and we went to see the vibes, and I don't think you could pay us to have gone on the street. Obviously it was me and my mom, so like it's not like I was about to bring Mama Susan to the club, but well, actually she would have been down. It's just that like the vibes there were way too like young. Everyone looked 16, and the streets just smelled disgusting, and it was so overpacked. But if you are into that vibe, I feel like if I would have gone with like my friends or something, and I would have been in like the party mood or whatever, then I definitely would have had a great time. But yeah, so St. Julian's is definitely where you want to go if you really want to party. There's all the clubs. I'm pretty sure I saw Pacha, so like that's how you know that's where the clubs are. And yeah, it's also just a very crowded kind of city. It has more like city central vibes. But yeah, so St. Julian we also went to. And then for one kind of, I wouldn't even say half a day, I went for like a few hours to Mdina, which is also called the Silent City. I thought that city was so like unlike anything I've really seen. There were no, I guess there were streets for cars. Now that I think about it, I didn't even see like that many cars, but this is genuinely is the Silent City. Like I don't remember how many people live there, but not a lot. And it was just so aesthetic. It kind of reminded me of that city in Twilight where the Volturi were living. That was in Italy, so it was definitely not in Malta. But yeah, it kind of had the same vibes as the Volturi place. And yeah, I just explored for a bit, and honestly 2 hours was more than enough for that place. So yeah, Mdina. And then I say them, like I said, the main place was Valletta. We spent, I'd say, probably a day there. And we just took a little ferry from, well, it's literally like a 10-minute boat ride. It's like going from Manhattan to Brooklyn to Valletta, literally from right outside of our hotel in Slima. And I just fell in love with Valletta. I don't know what it was about it. It just had such like cute, small, dainty vibes, I'd say. I don't even know. It just, all the houses were really small and compact and like all kind of put together, and it felt a little bougie. Probably why I liked it, let's be honest. But yeah, it just, again, we didn't really have too many things planned per city. We kind of just scoped out the vibes. But yeah, we did go to, there was one church that was really cute, the St. Dominic's Church. Outside, like the details were just really nice. And then the lower and upper Baraka gardens were so stunning, and the views from them of the city were so beautiful. And I literally, like, I have a photo of every street corner of Valletta in my phone because I was just so obsessed. It gave like 100% cute European city vibes, and it was packed for sure, but it didn't feel cramped or anything. And yeah, the little cute streets, like the small, like, I don't know, I just loved everything about Valletta. So that's definitely, if you go anywhere, that's where I would say touristic wise go in Malta. And then we had, this was my favorite day of our trip, we had a boat day, and it took us to the Crystal Lagoon, the Blue Lagoon, and Gozo Island. I've never seen more blue water in my life. I thought I was in Pinterest land. Literally everything from the mountains on the sides to all of the literally everything. I'm speechless. Everything about it was really, really nice. And just, I don't know, even the boat day itself, I think we just like looked up online like boat day to the Blue Lagoon and we found it. It's really not that expensive, and I highly recommend. And it kind of stops at a bunch of places around the island, and it's just, like I said, the bluest water you've ever seen in your life. So I really do recommend taking a boat day. I mean, I just love boats in general, so that was like my excitement to begin with. But yeah, I loved everything about that day. So definitely take a boat day. And then restaurants, we didn't really, I only have 2 that I wrote down. I would say we mostly got food like from little vendors and stuff. It wasn't really anything, we weren't getting big dinners or anything. But when we were in Meliá Bay, there was a restaurant that was right on the water, and it was called Il Pirata Meliá Bay, and the food was good. They had gluten-free everything, like pasta and pizzas and stuff, and which is always a plus for me because your girl used to love carbs. But yeah, so that one was just, also like when I'm telling you guys food places, it also heavily is based around aesthetics. But yeah, so this one definitely passed the aesthetic wise, and the food was good. So that one I definitely recommend. And then when we were in Slima, there were all of the terraces near the water. I remember we went to a seafood place. That one was really good. Honestly, any place there looked good / was good because we went to a few. But the one that was kind of like bougier, I guess, and the music was nice and just the ambiance was great, was called Felice Brasserie. I thought I said that in English and French. Felice Brasserie. Yeah, it was by the water and just really, it felt a little bougier than the other places, which was kind of our vibe that night. But all the other places were amazing, honestly. Anything along the water in Slima was great. But yeah, that's it for Malta. Again, I feel like it's not become too mainstream yet, so it's still good to go while it's not too crowded. But I think it's definitely rising in popularity, and as it should, because just that boat day alone kind of made my whole Euro summer last year. So I would recommend going. And yeah, that was Lisbon and Malta. And like I said, I have kind of London that I've gone to, I have Amsterdam, I have Brussels, I have Istanbul that I actually went to summer 2023, but that wouldn't really be Euro summer. So I'll make travel guides. I think when I come back from the Euro summer, I'm gonna have this summer. And then yeah, obviously you guys are getting vlogs from that trip and more fashion content. I feel like now I took a little side quest from my little fashion videos that I normally post, because I've been doing Euro summer travel guides. But we're going back to fashion videos, and then we're going back to actual vlogs because your girl's gonna be traveling quite a bit this summer. So yeah, that's all I wanted to give you for now. I want to thank you so much for watching. If there's any city that you guys kind of want recs for that I haven't done, you can literally leave it down below, because I've been to I probably forgot I've been to some cities. So if I've been to them and I forgot to include them in my Euro summer travel guides, let me know and I'll definitely make a video for you. And yeah, I wanted to thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in next week's video.